Hey, it's LSFT here today, and today we're here to look at, can you use the Lexus interface while you have gloves on? It was minus 21 degrees Celsius a few days ago, and some people would actually think that, oh, I'm actually having my gloves on because it's so cold. But again, if you had the heated steering wheel on, most likely you don't need gloves on. However, some people may still have their gloves on. So right now, I'm wearing a pair of winter gloves, and you can see that this is actually quite thick and it does not have the smartphone smudge, like the touch fingertips. So it's not that easy to use probably. So you can see that when I press onto the screen, things don't seem to operate. So you can see things don't operate when I'm using gloves. So what do you do? So one thing that you can do is during the winter months, you can decide to change some settings here. So what you do is you go to the gear, you go to general, and you can see here screen sensitivity. Higher value will allow a smoother operation with gloves. So I'm going to set it to 2, okay? And let's give it a try and see what happens. So same gloves. So 2 seems to actually do better. You can see that I pressed it, but doesn't seem to work. Oh, there we go. So it looks like using the side, I'm able to press it. Okay, doesn't seem to be that sensitive even with 2. So let's go and change it to 3. Okay, so now I have the screen sensitivity to 3. Let's see, is it better? So now I go to climate. Okay, turn on the de-icer, it works. Turn it off, it works. Close, seems to be working fine. So here, shortcuts, swipe over. Very cool. So it seems like it actually is quite responsive when you set it to 3. So let me go to notifications. That works fine. Personal, actually no, let's go back to general. So that seems to be all working handy dandy. So let's go keyboard. It's not as sensitive as when you just touch it with your fingers, but it seems to be quite well. I didn't have to press hard on that general. See, it's a little bit longer. If you actually press on it just a tad longer, it seems to be able to manage. So if you are a glove wearer and you're driving and you want to use the Lexus interface screen, make sure you go to gear, you go to general, set that screen sensitivity to 3. It does seem to work even if your pair of gloves does not have those smartphone like add-ons, so that allows you to touch the screen much easier. All right, so now I have gloves on, okay? Winter gloves on, and these are actually thicker gloves. So I wouldn't say that I'll be using these to drive. And really, there's no need to use them because there is a heated steering wheel, which actually will be great. But now you can see that the touch sensitive is actually not working. So if I press the button, it will actually do what it needs to do, but it will not be able to do whatever you want it to do because you don't know when you touch it, it doesn't know that you're touching it. All right. So what you need to do, okay? So what you need to do is you go to the gear. So you can see now I'm on the gear, and you will scroll over to vehicle customize. I think I've done this before. I'm just going to go to the steering switch. You can go to the options, and you can see here we have winter glove mode. So I'm going to turn that on. Okay, so now that's turned on. Let's give it a try and see if it's better. So now I have my winter gloves on. It doesn't seem to be, it does seem to be a little bit more sensitive. So you can see that I touched and it actually showed up. Let me just touch the bottom, let's see. Yeah, it's a tad better, but not really that much better. So let me try on the other side. Probably if you have the gloves that actually have like smartphone touch, probably it would do better. So you can see, I think I needed to push a little bit more for it to work properly. And this pair of gloves just seems to be a bit too much for right now. Yeah, like it's a little bit more, definitely a little bit more sensitive, but I would say it's still not perfect. So, yes, some will say, why didn't we just make them physical buttons, right? I get it. And if you know these things off by heart by now, I mostly know all the buttons already. To me, it's not that hard to use, but I know for new folks, like new owners who only used it for a month or two, you may still get issues with the touch sensitive buttons. And talking about winter driving, this is probably more useful for the Canadians and the northern US states. But recently, you have noticed that there's a lot of cold weather even in the United States. So, this is probably helpful. And if you have a lot of ice and snow and slush and your wipers are like all frozen up, it's important that you click on this thing. Actually, you click on the climate and you see that there's actually a windshield de-icer. And you can turn that on, and what that does is it will actually warm up the area where the winter wipers are so that it would actually be able to wipe your front windshield a little bit more easier. One thing that I've noticed on the negative 21 degrees, even with the de-icer, those wipers were very hard, and whenever it wipes, it's like scratching on the windshield. It's just like a hard plastic rubber wiping the windshield, and that's unfortunate because minus 21 is a bit cold, and if I didn't need to wipe, I probably wouldn't want to wipe. So it's sometimes important that you turn off your auto wipers, because if you actually don't turn them off and they wipe unexpectedly, you may actually damage the rubber. So to turn that off, you just need to make sure that you go all the way up, actually go up one, and from auto. So you can see here, there is a circle, that's the turn off. One down is auto. If you wipe up once, it actually would wipe once. And then you go down for wiping slower and then the faster speed, where you can adjust based on here. And another tip is really related to the side mirrors. So it's important that you turn off the auto so that when you lock your vehicle, the side will actually not fold, so that you will not damage the motor that actually would fold the side mirrors. So depending on the conditions, you may want to do that. Another thing that some people, since we're at it, we're talking about the side mirrors, some people would say, when I go into reverse, how come the side mirrors do not tilt down? It's because you actually have it in this condition. So you can see here, I'm going to zoom in, that the left and the right does not have any light on. So in that scenario, when you go into reverse, the side mirrors will not tilt down. And then if you actually have it on the right or the left, it will then tilt down when you go into reverse. Just another little tip. So another scenario is when you press onto the gas button and it does not open. What do? So after pressing the gas button, cap button, this did not open. What do? So what you need to do is open your trunk and you will need to go into this area. Let me remove my windshield washer fluid. All right, let me put this down. So you see here, we have this little cap area. And in this cap area, I'm gonna pry this open. So you can see here, I got some insulation. And actually behind this cover, there's also insulation as well. So you can see here, there is insulation and there's an opening. So when you open this, you notice that you don't see much. I'll have to move this over a little bit. I'll see if I can move the camera inside. So I moved inside and you can see here, there's a little lever. And what I'm going to do is now, I'm going to go in here, reach into it, and there's a lever that you pull to the left. Okay? Once you've pulled to the left, you would now notice that the door is now open. And now you can refuel. Okay? So you go in here, there's a lever here, you pull it, and it will open. So that is the manual lever to open gas door. So for NX 450h Plus owners, if you cannot open up the recharger port, you do the same thing. So there's this hole and this hole on the right side of the vehicle. So what you need to do is, again, pry open the smaller one. And when you pry open the smaller one, similar, you would see insulation here. And the lever is actually, you see this purple pink tube is right behind it. And what you need to do is you press in this time. And when you press in, it will allow you to, actually you have to pull. When you pull, it will allow you to open up the door. So I've opened it up. So again, it's right behind this pink lever, this pink tube. You pull, and it will allow you to open up the door. And if you actually push it in, it will actually lock it up. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please comment, like, and share this video. If you'd like to see more videos like this, you can subscribe to my channel and press that alert button to get notified when new videos are posted. If you'd like to support the channel, you can definitely provide a super thanks. I'll see you guys again next time in the next video.